Good morning. It's another absolutely glorious Saturday morning here in Washington, D.C. And I don't know if you could hear that at 8 a.m. every morning out front of the embassies in Washington, D.C., military installations, other important buildings. The national anthem is played, and we just had our national anthem, so I paused. We're starting today kind of in the area where we've been recently, the Kalorama section of Washington. We're going to walk down Massachusetts Avenue. We've walked that path before. We're going to take a different way through the residential area. This is the Embassy of Chad. We're starting right here on Massachusetts Avenue and S Street. We're going to make our way through a residential area that has some absolutely beautiful architecture to see. And we've gotten our blue sky. Grass is still green. Brick is still red. It'll make for some beautiful shots today. Thanks for joining me today. Well, last Saturday was an absolute landmark. I think the longest stream I've ever done, and had 26,000 views on that stream last Saturday. Unbelievable. Folks really like architecture, so I'm glad you can join us. Really glad you can join us. This is that part of Massachusetts Avenue that we frequent. Don't worry, we won't be boring. Now, this is one we've been watching because it underwent a significant renovation over the last year. This is the Embassy of Zambia. And we're going to take a really good look at what's been done here. And I'm hoping, either through the International Club or some other event, that we can actually get to see inside this embassy. Because the renovation went on for quite a while. Interior and exterior, they've re-stuccoed the building, or at least cleaned it up significantly. Hi, Big Erm. Big Erm. Oh, the audio is weird today. Let me know if that's been fixed. I apologize for that. I'm not sure why that is. Daryl, let me know, is the audio okay? What's going on? If not, what I'm going to do is have a shut off my audio is messed up. Okay, Daryl, hang on just a second. I'm going to try something. Hold on. You know what happened? I fixed it. I had thought I shut off my headphones, and I didn't. So thank you so much. I hope this is better. Heck, and I purposely checked my headphones before I left the car, and I thought they were off. Oh my gosh, thank you for letting me know. Yeah, it's probably because the headphones are actually in my pocket. So amazing that you heard anything. With my headphones in my pocket, it was taking the audio from there. So thank you. It does. It has that roof. Rob, it has that roof, that Amityville roof. I know, as a kid, anytime I saw a house that looked like that, it would freak me out. But yeah, we hope at some point to be able to tour inside this one. Oh, see, and it's not stucco. Okay, it's stucco on this side, but it's painted brick on the rest of the construction here. And we'll do some research too on the history of this one. But this is Zambia. Yeah, they were in temporary quarters until very recently, and now they're back. They're back in this beautiful Gilded, again, the Gilded Age, beautiful Gilded Age home. This would have been one of the, you know, again, kind of prized properties right here on Massachusetts Avenue. Plus, it has a plot of land. Some of those mansions that we encounter, they're built right next to each other. But this one actually had some land and some garden space to it. So really a choice address. Now across the way, we have one of the properties of the Embassy of Mexico and a couple of other properties over there that we have visited before. So I'm not trying to ignore, but we really have a lot to do today. So we're going to keep on our track for today. But we will take a minute and peer back across the way at the Embassy of Korea, just because it has some interesting artwork in front of it. I hope everyone is also having a beautiful sunshiny day. It's cool today. It's about 60 degrees. I have a jacket on today. Now, I wouldn't mind this little one either. I really wouldn't. This is the Embassy of the Marshall Islands. Right here. This little townhome. Perfectly fine for my purposes. Hey, Henry. Nice to see you. Yeah, let's move. We've got a lot to do today. But across the way here, this is the Embassy of Korea, South Korea. Sorry. Oops. My apologies. Korea is down the road. This is the part of the Embassy of Japan. Part of the Embassy of Japan. I did not mean to make that mistake. No, it is Korea. Okay, I'm losing it. Japan is down that way. This is Korea. This is Korea. And you can kind of see the artwork there. Just don't mind me. I'm being completely befuddled. The Embassy of Japan has multiple buildings as a part of it, both here and close to American University. And it's the only embassy ever that I was asked not to film, was the Embassy of Japan near American University. Now, this is the Embassy of Venezuela, the ambassador's residence. However, I have never, ever seen a car or a person here, so I'm wondering if it's actually occupied or not. And I've never seen a flag. So I'm going to say this is a former residence. This was also a former embassy, and I don't remember which one. It's in a prior stream, but most recently, the residence of the ambassador from Venezuela. Quite big for a residence. But I really don't see any activity here at all. So I'm wondering if that's true. So let me go back here. Let's take another look at the Embassy of Korea, South Korea. Here, it's quite an elegant building. Always like the driveway. There is always a patrol car there. And you can kind of see a little bit of the art, those round spheres in front of the doorway. I'm not going to cross there because we've done it before. And we've got a lot of walking to do today. Hey, Ben, good morning. Good morning. Oh, I'm really bummed about the audio as we started the stream because I was trying so hard to make sure all my peripherals were turned off. Ugh. What are you going to do? This is not an embassy. This is a residential building, 2500 Massachusetts Avenue, and it is also beautiful. Gilded Age splendor at its best. We've got the sun in the right place. Sun is rising later every day. Had to start the stream just a few minutes late because the sun hadn't even peeked over the buildings yet. This one, no marking. Part of the, it's the same architectural style as the building that is now the residence, allegedly, of the ambassador from Venezuela. And so probably part of that. Now I will cross over. I will give us another peek since I messed that up too. We will get a quick peek across the way at some of the buildings that form the Embassy of Japan, just because I think they're beautiful and because we have the traffic light in our favor right now, at least for a moment. So there are a few buildings here that comprise this part of the Embassy of Japan. As I mentioned, the other part is near American University, kind of up on the hills where the television stations are, where all those towers are. But this is one little building, but there's a grand building behind these gates, and we'll take a nice look at that. Hi, good morning. This makes for a fantastic picture. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. This is a stone construction with a slate roof and those beautiful green shutters. I think it's fantastic. We'll get close and we'll kind of poke the camera between the slats and the fence. This is an elegant, elegant building right here. So this is Japan. And you see the rising sun motif on that medallion above the front door. This is the kind of the symmetrical view, but then I'll move over to the side so we can get a view of that medallion. No breeze today. The only bad thing about today, because it is a beautiful day, we don't have a breeze, none whatsoever. So there will be no flag action going on. So that's Japan. Also, let's take a look. I mean, the beautiful stonework in the driveway. Absolutely lovely. Directly across the way from some private residences, very elegant private residences. And I just want to do a quick peek at I guess what we would call the main building of the Japanese complex here. And then we'll head back to our objective today is California Road. So last week we primarily were on S Street, kind of did that whole square, and today we're going to do California. And here's kind of the main building of the Embassy of Japan here on Massachusetts Avenue. So quite a sprawling complex here, as well as down there near American University. We'll get out of the direct sun in a second. Hope everybody's having a really good day. Wow, I'm always surprised so many people join my stream. Why do people just want to wander? I love it. I think it's great. Still makes me a little nervous sometimes when I have more than like 5 people in the stream. I had 220 some people at once last week, and a total, get this, I had 26,000 views on my walk last week. So wow, thank you to everyone. The algorithm must like me. Maybe folks just want to chill out sometimes and not get pulled into politics and just take a walk. Now, this is California Street. We're going to take a walk slightly north, but mostly east, And I am going to do some zigzagging today because there's lots to see on both sides of this street. And here's another peek back at that 2500 Mass Ave. Love that one. So this beauty on the corner here of Massachusetts and California, this is not a government building or an embassy. This is just a private, beautiful private mansion, obscured a little bit by trees, but has the wrought iron work over the windows. Hello, good morning. Beautiful dog. That beautiful wrought iron work around the windows. And flower boxes are cool. Those puppies came over to say hi to me. Hey Fox, how are you? We're on California Street in what somebody asked me last week if I was on Bancroft, and I wasn't. I was like 2 blocks down. We might pass Bancroft today. So, but all of these streets here, California, Wyoming, Bancroft, Leroy Place, Phelps Place, this is what you're gonna find. This beautiful mix. And actually on California Street, we're probably gonna see the most variety of different styles here. And we're gonna see some homes decorated for Halloween. How nice is this? This one's beautiful. Another private residence. I don't want to get too close on the private residences, but there are those lion door knockers. And then in those small alcoves on either side of the door, kind of looks like greyhounds. There are definitely sculptures of dogs in front there. And the owners of this building just drove by. They have a garage next to the home, but this one has a is a mission style, very Southwest influence. And you'll find a few of those in Washington. You may be surprised to find mission style, those kinds of terracotta roofs. You will be surprised, but they're here too. And it adds to that variety. We'll take another look back, but the owner literally just drove by me. So I don't want to impose. Now this one, this is a foreign mission. And I'm going to get a little closer on this one. Looks like there might be there is either some construction or there needs to be some construction going on here. This is part of the Venezuela Naval Command. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Venezuela Naval Command in this building here. It's always good to see those pseudo balconies in front of those big French doors on the second floor. I do like that. Brick and stone, next to the light color stone, next to the mission style, next to bright white. So for those wondering, what do I do in Washington, D.C. during a government shutdown? First, check the websites for the museums. They may or may not be affected by the shutdown. So don't assume that the museums are closed. Check websites. If you happen to be here and you find that your plans were changed because of the shutdown, you can wander through these neighborhoods and enjoy these sights. If you're a person who wants a peaceful little walk, this is the place to be. And there are several areas. This area where I typically spend most of my time is Northwest Washington, D.C. The side streets off of, or no, not really side streets, but the streets off of Massachusetts Avenue in the area of DuPont Circle, Sheridan Circle, the even all the way up to Palisades, Georgetown. Now here in the midst of this very yeah, there's a lot of ivy going on there. That's a bit much. That's a bit much. Just saying. But in the middle of all these residential buildings is obviously relatively new construction. This is the Embassy of Slovenia. And I'm not sure what it was before. I do believe there was a prior occupant before Slovenia. But yeah, this one's here in the middle of this beautiful residential area. I actually don't mind it. It is set back from the main street. It has this nice driveway. They keep the landscaping lovely. It fits. It does fit. We'll zigzag a little and check out the artwork there in front of Slovenia. And we can take a look back on this one. Again, we're very grateful for so many trees in Washington, D.C., but it does make it hard to get a really good picture of some of the homes. This is another stucco, mission influenced. Yeah, we do have speed bumps. Daryl, is that on your list too? Cones and speed bumps? Because I'll be on the lookout for those as well, just for you. So basically, Daryl, it's all traffic related items that we're on the lookout for you. No breeze today to help out with that flag of Slovenia. Here on California Street. Now across the way we have some kind of official building here. Can't remember which one this is. Brazil and Venezuela have several on this street. This one is, I'll have to climb up there. Yep, Brazilian. Oh, this is the OAS. So the Organization of the American States is a kind of a trade organization, kind of like, okay, I don't want to say it's like the EU, but for the Americas, but sort of was a predecessor. So several countries have member organizations or member locations for the OAS, the Organization of American States. Hi, Waleed. Nice to meet you. It is 8:24 here, and there's some yard work coming up here, so we're gonna kind of head into a little bit of a fog here. I hope it doesn't impact the lens too much. I don't know if that's yard work or stone work happening over there. Nice to meet you, Waleed. Thank you for joining. Yeah, we're in a residential area of Washington, D.C. This is the Kalorama area. This is one of my absolute favorites. Brick. Beautiful railing above that second-story window there. Everything I like. So in Washington, D.C., I've mentioned parking. Just follow the signs. Don't assume if you see a sign that it's no parking, okay? Read the whole sign. So this is 2-hour parking between 7 and 8:30. That means after 8:30, you can stay all night, all day, Monday through Friday. So on weekends, you can just park here for longer than 2 hours. You'll see other signs that say no parking you know, 7 to 10 at night, Monday through Friday. So on weekends, you're perfectly fine to park in these residential areas. Obviously, be respectful because people live here. But this is where I park. There are residential areas that are close to the metro. You can park there and then metro into the center of the city, or walk if you're going to be walking for a while, if you're okay with that. Here's another part of the mission from Venezuela with a bust of Simón Bolívar. And this is it doesn't say what this is. Defense Ministry. Okay, so this is part of the Defense Ministry. It is green. Walid, it is green grass, blue sky. I always say green grass, blue sky, red brick. Okay, this is actually stonework happening over here. So I'm gonna kind of shield the lens. I don't want to get stone dust on the lens. But they're doing some work on the steps over there. Reno happening, replacing the brick. Hi, Grant. Grant, you said it just at the right time. Careful there. There is nothing we need to worry about in Washington, D.C. It's a very safe city, except for the sidewalks. Check it out. Always look down. Always look up. Look up, make sure a tree branch doesn't hit you. Look down and make sure you don't step in a hole. And that's good advice. Now here's a residence, and we're gonna have to peek up to see which one it is. I should know my flags. I should. After researching every single embassy in Washington, D.C., you would think I'd know my flags. Like, some people can't remember faces. I can't remember flags. This is the embassy of the Slovak Republic. So this is the embassy, not a residence. So we had Slovenia right around the corner, and this is the Slovak Republic embassy with this driveway here, just tucked away in this residential area. Quite nice. And yes, that's the Secret Service. They check in on the embassies. If you recall from my stream last week, this area is the home of former presidents, including some still living former presidents that live right around the corner. So the Secret Service is always around. And if you see them, wave at them and thank them, because they do a great job. Official or private? So that one, the Slovak Republic one, was official. Ooh, sorry for sun. Oopsie. Ooh, we're right at that angle. Okay, let's cross back over. I'll take that one. This was nice. That's a good one. What's everyone up to today? But you have these, setback residences. Many of whom, right, Daryl, many of which have a yard. And, oh, here's a really good view here. So last week when we were walking in this direction, but we were a block down on S Street. And I mentioned that this was a little bit of a hilly area of Washington, D.C. So I talk about, like, most of the area around the National Mall is very flat. So you can walk for quite a while. Older people, younger people, you can walk for a long time. But here, when you get into this area, because we're getting close to Rock Creek, and Rock Creek, over hundreds of millions of years, kind of cut a little valley in. And so it's hilly. So you can see up this driveway and kind of to the next block, you can see how there's an incline there for sure. And where I'm walking right now is an incline. So if you're, if you think you'd like to take an adventure here, just pace yourself. There are some hills. I'm really liking the ironwork above the door on this one. Another stucco here. That's quite beautiful. I keep saying that. I need better words. Beautiful, amazing. Okay, you may have heard me speak about the Washington, D.C. Elephant Safari. And I've made that up myself, just like Small Town Bingo, Main Street Bingo. But here's another elephant / woolly mammoth that you might encounter. So down on Massachusetts Avenue in front of a few of the embassies, and I think it's Cote d'Ivoire and India, you'll find elephants. And then Sri Lanka, you'll find an elephant. And right here in this building that I don't know, was it a hotel or an inn of some kind? Don't know what this is, but you'll find woolly mammoth here. Kind of like Mr. Snuffleupagus. Hey, nonsense, don't speak nonsense, please. Appreciate that. This is a plain one. Just a box. It's just a plain box, but it's an elegant plain box. And a more grand box next door. And then here, I do believe this was an embassy or a residence at some point in time. And then here we have watermelon elephant. So we have our Main Street Bingo card. Go to my channel site. In the posts area, you can get the Main Street Bingo card. I shall make an elephant safari card, I think, with all of the spots where you can find the elephants. Although I think it's kind of fun to find them yourselves without a guide. And then, of course, we have our call boxes. We haven't found a call box yet today. We will. We will find a call box. Right, I'm going to cross back over. A little bit of crisscrossing today. It's so quiet today. I feel like I have to whisper. Last week there were more people out at this time. Check those out. Now, some might speculate, was that one grand building? I will say no. And the way you can tell is to look at the roof line and the chimneys. So we do have separate chimneys defining each residence. This was built as a duplex, obviously, but not one residence divided. Fox, I really appreciate it. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you around. I don't know, I might be out again tomorrow. It's supposed to be so magnificent this weekend, so I probably can't stay put. I like the door on this one, but I'm too close to get a good shot. Trying to stay out of the angle of the sun is not as easy right here. All right, let's see which one this is. This is the mission. Okay, we mentioned the Organization of American States. And this is, heck, again, I need to know my flags. Oh, look, let's peek over here. A little bit of Halloween decoration going on here, a little bat. and a little skeleton over the door knocker. That's kind of cool. You'll also notice on the left side of the door, the round medallion that designates this property as a preserved historic property. This is El Salvador. All right, so this is the permanent mission of El Salvador. Here. And that's the flag. No breeze, not even a breeze. Hi, Nadir. Very nice to meet you. We're here in Washington, D.C. Oh, good, Fox. Well, you'll be editing. That's good. It's easier to edit when it's cooler. I know, Fox, I've got a problem. I think I have 3,000 hours of video to edit at this point because I go on these walks with my mobile phone and then I come back. Like, I'll do this walk today. Today's walk is only a 1.5 mile walk. I'll go back to my car and then I'll get my other camera and I'll do the walk all over again and take video for my, what I hope to be edited videos that never happen because I'm always out here. I think 3,000 hours is ridiculous though. So I've got to do something about that. This here is another part of the Embassy of Myanmar. This might be the residence, I don't know. Last week we passed two buildings that I could have sworn in the past one of them had a sign that said it was the residence, but this time it didn't. So got a little confused there. But here's another building related to the mission of Myanmar/Burma. Could be the residence. The sign just says that it's part of the foreign mission. And this one here, need to zigzag again, is Republic of, what in the world does that say? It says Zavasneria? That doesn't make any sense. Literally, it says Zavsneria. Like, seriously, I have no idea what that says. Seriously, no idea. It says Zavsneria. Okay, that's some sort of joke, or I don't know. All right, this will be our challenge, because I know for sure that's not a country. And I apologize if it is. That's another good look. That's a really good look. So if you enjoy chill little walks at all times of year, not just here in Washington, D.C., but I'm often in Baltimore. That's where I'm from. Baltimore, Philadelphia. I was just in Philly, about 4 days ago. I did that walk across the Schuylkill River in that lovely Pencoed Ironworks area. I am very fortunate to travel quite a bit. I work a lot of hours, and when I'm not working, I'm out early in the morning usually, or late at night adventuring. On a very rare occasion, I have my dad with me, which is kind of fun. And this time of year, I think I can convince him to come out with me because it's a little cooler. So we might have maybe at least one dad stream. He joined me for a garden walk earlier this year in the spring. So please join me. Now we're getting close to Connecticut Avenue, close to the really busy commercial streets up here. And we're gonna see some buildings that were purpose-built as hotels or apartments And I will zigzag so that we can get the full view of both of these buildings on either side of the street. But I do want to get a close up here because we're going to have a little bit of Art Deco goodness here with this William Penn building. I just like this entranceway. Needs to be cleaned up a little bit. But I like the entranceway. If you can see the mosaic work in that rounded awning. And then kind of get a view of this interesting brickwork around the windows. But across the way here, yeah, our bikes are lime green. Our little zippy bikes. Uber lime. Oh, getting that sun right in the eyes. But this one, this grand entranceway here, you know, I love black and white. I like these awning ways. This is more traditional French influence than, it's not Art Nouveau or Art Deco. This is quite traditional. But you'll see the work around the doors and the work around that awning. And this place is always kept very nicely. Great place to live if you're in the area. And then we'll take a look back at this William Penn building. Pretty simple, but Art Deco is simple in a lot of cases. See if I can walk up the street for a little bit. There will be a point during this walk where the traffic will start to get crazy. Everybody wakes up, and these streets are a good way to avoid Massachusetts Avenue, where there's a lot of construction going on right now. I think I say that every week, but it's true. There's quite a bit of construction all the way from like 16th Street area around the Johns Hopkins University building. That's been going on for over a year. All the way up to, stop. All the way up to around DuPont Circle. Just because I mentioned traffic. So this is a good way to avoid that traffic. And on Sundays, it's a good way to avoid the mess around the DuPont Circle Farmers Market, which is an amazing farmers market. Don't miss it. But main streets are closed for that farmers market. So these streets provide a good detour. Oh, the sun. Hi, Corn Pop. Bye, Corn Pop. Ooh, sun. It's that time of morning. Hi, good morning. Hey, John. Yeah, we're in Washington, D.C. We're in the residential area. And this is actually California House. Another purpose-built apartments. I'm going to guess early 1900s. As we get closer to Connecticut Avenue, that's where we're seeing the larger residences. This is Our Lady Queen of the Americas Catholic Church. This is the mass for Spanish-speaking masses held here. And this is probably the best view. That's a really good view. I think if I went directly across, that big tree would be in the way. That's a really nice view. Oh, cone. Oh, I see some. Oh, I'm sorry, Daryl. Daryl, cones. There you go. Cones. Look, there's a roadwork sign. Hey, we have our first call box. And we've got some art. Wonderful. So for those of you who haven't been on adventures with me around Washington, D.C., one absolutely lovely work of preservation across the entire city was to restore and actually embellish these police and fire call boxes. Now, this one has been lovingly maintained. Others have fallen into disrepair. And I'm going to do some research to see if there's any effort to install works of art back into some of the boxes that were kind of allowed to become dilapidated. So this one here, it's right across the street from Our Lady Queen of the Americas, and the artwork installed is this beautiful, I'm going to guess bronze sculpture of a nun teaching the children. And she's got the globe of the world there. Now, you'll all know that I'm lying when I say this is my favorite, because I say they're all my favorite. I do like the ones with paintings, and I probably say those are my favorite, but when I find the ones with the sculptures, I often say these are my favorite. Last week we saw the one with the sculpture of the old-fashioned fire truck, you know, being led by horses, and I said that was my favorite. It's one of my favorites. It's a favorite. This is a favorite too. They look really cool when the sun is directly on them, which we won't get today. But yeah, so be on the lookout for these all across Washington, D.C. There's a website for the Sheridan Kalorama call boxes, and it lists, I think, like 16 of them. There are many more than 16 because other areas of Washington, D.C. have picked up this little hobby. And closer to the National Mall, some of them are painted baby blue for Cherry Blossom Festival time. So some of them have cherry blossom art, but just be on the lookout. Hi, Jill. Nice to meet you. We're taking our walk through Washington, D.C., one of the residential areas today. I'm going to get just one look back at this church and school, Our Lady Queen of the Americas. Whenever the weather's good, and that has been like almost every weekend recently, I take a wander through different parts of whatever city I'm in at the time. Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
And today it's Washington, D.C. Now, again, we're getting closer to the big street, Connecticut Avenue. So we've got some commercial buildings here mixed in with the residentials. We're going to go north on Connecticut Avenue and then swing back through another residential street. I think it's going to be Wyoming Avenue. Davy, hey, Davy, we've got another blue sky day. Blue sky, green trees, red brick. The only thing that's missing today, Davy, there is not a hint of a breeze today. Not even the tiniest breeze. So where we have encountered flags, no action. Now here's another purpose-built apartment building, Le Bourget. That's what it says. Really nice doors here. If you can kind of get a peek through, there are some chandeliers in the lobby. And I can see some tray ceilings in the lobby. Nice stuff. But this weekend, one of my objectives is to check out the events that the International Club has going over the next few weeks. And hopefully we'll get to tour inside an embassy or two. I do have the tour from inside the Embassy of Indonesia. I just haven't edited it yet. I feel like I say that constantly because it's true. Oh, you've got storms, Davy. I'm sorry. Bummer. This one, I don't know the name of this one. Let's pause on that one because this is the Brighton. La-di-da. This is a nice one. But yeah, don't have the don't have the name of this one. But what I like about this one, if you look from, first off, I like the lamp posts out front of the entrance. And, but I like near the roof, I like that ornamentation. It's really just an ornament balcony. It's not a real balcony up there. I just like that. Hey, White Lightning, how are you? I apologize for imposing. These are architectural masterpieces, and they deserve to be filmed and viewed and reviewed. They do. Now here, this is going to be a problem now because the buildings are going to take two. The buildings are going to get a little taller. So it's going to be hard. The Art Deco features on this apartment building are definitely near the roof, and it's hard to see. And I will not be zigging and zagging across Connecticut Avenue. That's not happening. But we'll just be on this big street for a minute, and then we'll duck right back onto our residential streets. Hey, White Lightning, I know all the police officers around here. They know me. We chat all the time about architecture. They're actually quite knowledgeable. But you can see toward the entrances, you can just see that design, that very simple Art Deco design around the doors. You know, Art Deco is simplicity. It's about shape. It's geometry. You know, Art Nouveau is natural, you know, flowers and more elaborate motifs. Now this building here is either the Russian trade or cultural building. I can't remember which one, and I'm not going to cross the street because once I do, I won't get back over. I do have a prior video on this building. This is a grand mansion just in the middle of a major intersection. And that's how they were built back in the day. This was actually, in a way, this was a suburb outside of Maine, Washington, D.C. Now, I can walk from here to the Capitol building in about 25 minutes. But this was away from the hubbub of the concentrated downtown back in the day, especially in the Gilded Age. So this is where all those mansions were built. You can see the Washington Monument peeking over there. I'm looking south on Connecticut Avenue. And honest to goodness, I forget whose statue that is, and that's really terrible. I think it's Carney. I think that's General Carney. That's definitely General Carney. But this mansion, this was one of those Gilded Age mansions. This was a mansion to be seen, right? You were smack in the middle of a main road, and this was a main road back in the day. And so the family that built this mansion wanted to be seen and wanted it known that they had the bucks. And they did. And they did. Daryl, got one of those bike detour. Big cones for Daryl. Hi, Blakey Plays. Nice to see you. Good morning. All right, let's go up here, and then I'll turn back around to get a view of that Art Deco building that we passed. But here, across the street, across busy Connecticut Avenue, is the Embassy of Malta. I remembered that one. All kinds of contraptions here for Daryl's entertainment. There's some street work going on. But that little narrow beauty is the Embassy of Malta. Check that out. Oh, Blakey, sorry to hear that. I hope the rest of if everybody else will let me know if it's lagging. All right, there's no traffic coming, so I am gonna kind of peek out in the traffic. So there's the one we passed. It does look a little plain, but I'm telling you, in person, the Art Deco beauty is evident. Oh, thank you, Daryl. Yeah, I shouldn't say anything, but I've got good bars right now. And there's the back of that mansion that we looked at. It is, again, it's Russian, either cultural or trade mission. I think it's the trade mission. And there's the Embassy of Malta, right here on Connecticut Ave. Now, if we get lucky and there's no traffic just for a minute, we might get a good view of this one. Another purpose-built, multi-tenant building back in the, maybe, yeah, I'm going to say early 1900s on this one too. But check out that entryway. Look at the elaborate carving, if you can, in the entryway to that building. That's a good one. Hi, Brian. Nice to see you. Oh, you're in a hotel, Blakey. Yeah, that'll do it. Now, back to the Embassy of Malta, the building next door. There are horses. Those are sculptures of horses. So not elephants for our elephant safari. But you know what? You can travel around Washington, D.C. and just pick an animal and go on safari. But this one is gorgeous. As we get farther north, Connecticut Avenue, 16th Street, 17th Street, the apartment buildings get grander. And then you have this one here. Now, I'm sure you can't see it, but at the tippy top of the building, look really hard. There are statues of Atlas holding the earth above his head. At the tippy top of that one. We've got the sunlight in the right spot. Yeah, I'm in Washington again, Blakey. There's a lot to do here in Washington. There's a lot to see. And then just some simple townhomes here across the way. And this is the, what does it say? Paraguay? Paraguay. This is the mission of Paraguay to the Organization of American States. So I won't say it's similar to the EU. It's not that big, but the Organization of American States is a trade association, union, etc., for the Americas. So this is the Paraguay mission to OAS. I would have loved to have lived here when all of this construction was going on. Late 1800s, up until the Depression, it was just construction like mad. Not just here, but in all the big cities across the United States. But something like this, we are incredibly fortunate for buildings like this because, you know, they can fulfill their purpose indefinitely. When you kissed the Washington Monument, that's really cool. That's really cool. We have spent some time around the Washington Monument, Blakey. Talked about the difference in the color of the stones. Construction was not stopped because of the Civil War. It was stopped well before the Civil War because the money ran out for the Washington Monument. And that's what happened. It wasn't because of the Civil War. Now here's one of those artworks. This one has seen its better days. Here's another call box. And let's go around the back first to see if sometimes there's a description of the art on the back. And it's been removed. You can see there was some kind of glue. But I'm gonna guess that this artwork just commemorates the beautiful architecture in the area, right? It's paint's all peeled off of much of it. Highlander, hi, great to see you. Yeah, we've lost some of the paint on this one for sure. But another great call box to add to our list of call boxes. Now, when we look at Art Deco, right? We can look at Art Deco in like the early 1900s, but then we can look at that Art Deco revival that was kind of made super popular in the 1950s, right? That 1950s look, when you think of Miami Beach and you think of those iconic hotels along Miami Beach, that's kind of taken Art Deco with that 50s and 60s twist to it. This building I think of in that way. And I'm not sure when this one was built. It's definitely got some of an Art Deco influence, not very much. Those glass block windows though, I find that they have their place. I do. I don't mind a glass block window. I think they really do have a place. And when we look at a variety of architectural styles, I'm all for it. I'm definitely all for it. Now let me see if I can remember what this was, because I don't think it is what it was. Because there is you can tell a former embassy because there's a flagpole usually. But this looks like it's private apartments now. Hi, good morning. And these two are relatively new. But here we're walking west on Wyoming, and we're gonna head back into the residential area. Is this the Soviet block? No, it's glass block. No, we're in Washington, D.C. We are north of Massachusetts Avenue. We're west of DuPont Circle. We're checking out the architecture, as I often do on beautiful days like today. So what I do is I'll do this walk. This is about a 1.5 mile walk today. I'll do this walk with my mobile phone and live stream, and then I'll come right back with my big girl camera and film again. And then unfortunately, I will add to my thousands of hours of unedited film. There's never any time. See, what I need is a bunch of dreary days, because when the weather's like this, I can't be in the house. Can't be in the house editing when the weather's like this. This is the Embassy of North Macedonia. Right here. And in a prior video, I did share the history of this home. I don't remember it because there's hundreds of them, but this is relatively new. This is 20th century construction, I believe, at least 20th century renovation. But this is the Embassy of North Macedonia. And the day I was here, it was windy, so we got to look at that beautiful flag. The only downside to today, because we have a beautiful blue sky and we have green trees, the only downside is there was no breeze at all. And this one, with that terracotta roof, again, there are no cookie cutter residences. Everyone is different. And look, a Tudor-ish style one here. This is our first Tudor of the day. And this is something related to Argentina. See if we can get a sign and see if it's a residence. There is no sign, but we definitely have the Argentinian flag. Cross over again. Here's another beautiful look at this one. Sometimes the sun just cooperates. We've got a little one who's not happy down the street. All right, let's get a look back at, on the sun. Okay, so we really can't get a look at that. Maybe this will work. Nope, trees. So there's a Tudor. It's a Tudor style here. Oh, here, maybe we can do that. Here we go. Okay, so that's related to the foreign mission from Argentina. It is a Tudor style with the faux woodwork on white stucco and a highly pitched roof. That's quite nice. And across the way, just a mix of private residences. Hi, Sun. Nice to see you. And then here, a couple of, like, kind of a little mini campus of about 4 buildings is the Embassy of Algeria, the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria, as it says. Definitely not old construction here, but fits in the neighborhood. Definitely fits in the neighborhood. Lots of traffic with kids around here. There's a French school here on this block. And I know there's a lot of it right there in that building there. The French school. So there's always a lot of activities going on there. And then the Chancery of Barbados over there. And that's a flag that looks great when there's a little breeze. Unfortunately, none today. That's too bad. That's way too bad. Some other residences, and then I'm going to zig back across the way. There's a former embassy over here, and I can never remember which one it is. Daryl, there's another speed bump right there for you. And there's another look at the Alliance Française. Always things going on over there. Good morning. So this one, I don't remember what it was, but this was previously, oh look, okay, there is, all right, these are really steep steps. Going up, not a problem. Coming down, need to be super careful. We'll call this an abandoned embassy. But above, we have the lion with the sword. Is that Thailand? I'm not sure. Oh, was it Davy? Oops. Davy, I hope it's back. I've got all the bars. But I'm almost at the end of my travels today, if I don't fall down these stairs. Hey, good morning. Please go ahead. Thanks, Highlander. I'm glad you could be here. Now here, I just want to take a look at this little residential block. I like this middle building. It's larger than the other two, but each one's a different style. This relatively plain but elegant plain brick. This painted brick. I like gray. That's a good color gray. With some really nice gardens. And look at this slate path here. All right, this would be mine. Like, this is on my list of the ones I want. And then next door, this white painted brick with that huge bay window. But just the variety of styles is such a treat. If you're like me and you like to admire architecture. We've got another grand mansion on the corner here. These homes Most of them have these beautiful front gardens. Check that one out with the window boxes. Have to appreciate the window boxes. I have to find out what these flowers are, these white flowers. I need those in my garden. But check this out. I mean, that's just stunning. Just stunning. Hello, Grandma White. Nice to see you. No, not here. I mean, these are brick. Yeah, I mean, in the oldie days, certainly fire was a concern. Check this out. What a beautiful entranceway. I met a friend who I had been an associate of in the historical societies I work for, and never knew where he lived. And one day he said he lived like right here in one of these beautiful mansions, and that literally it was his last week he was moving to Florida. And so I met someone who lived here just a block away in one of these, and he literally was vacating the property that week. So it happens. But there's definitely a competition on this street for the most beautiful entrance. Stunning. And in some places, old trees like this one here have been in the yards forever. Hello, Julie. Nice to see you. Julie, I think you were with us before, so nice to see you again. Now, amid those that had kind of a flat facade, look at this one. Again, just such interesting variety. Look at this. You have to wonder, like, the architects must have been in such hot competition when designing in Washington, D.C. I mean, I'm sure they wanted to make every design for these, at the time, super mega wealthy families. They wanted to make everyone their calling card so that others would want their services. And hello, this is much more than a townhome. But, you know, this is a mansion in a row of townhomes. Yeah, me too, Julie. Julie, we'll be neighbors, okay? We will be neighbors. I'm certain of it. So I'm looking forward to to being your neighbor. And this one here with this pink hue and the terracotta roof. Everyone different. I'm with you, Julie. I am with you. I mean, every detail from the walkways to just, you know, the slight ornamentation. There are very few that I find like gaudy. There are a few, but there are very few. Some are just kind of minimalist, elegant. Now we're back to a few foreign missions after seeing so many private residences. We'll go across the way to get a good view of this one. But this is the, let me turn around here. Trying to avoid some folks who are walking. This is the Polish Defense Ministry. Here on the corner, we're on Wyoming and 23rd Street. So that's the Polish Defense Ministry. And then We'll get to this one. Well, let's do this one first. And then I think this is, so we saw Zambia. We saw the embassy of Zambia. This is the residence. This is the residence of the ambassador from Zambia. And I met the ambassador from Zambia. I was filming here. He was outside. I asked him if he was the ambassador. He said he was. And I complimented him on his beautiful home. And we chatted for a moment. This one, okay, we talk about gaudy. For the time, perhaps gaudy. But this over here is, there's something here, or maybe not. Maybe I'm mistaken. This is probably a private residence. No, I don't think so. Yeah, this is something. Hang on. There's a flag. It's one with a side entrance. This is, I don't know what. All right, we'll keep walking until we see a sign. The flag is giving me Egypt vibes, but I could be wrong. Okay, no sign here and no sign on the other side. So not entirely sure about this one here. But, and I apologize for the zigging and zagging, that could be a blue jay. My dad would know. He's a bird guy. He knows them all. But this is a really nice view of this residence here on 20, what did I say? Did I say 23rd Street and Wyoming? Hi, Bernadette. Nice to see you. But we've got another call box here with no art installed. It has been restored. It's been lovingly painted, but there's nothing here. Maybe someday. Maybe there was. Maybe it was removed. Not sure. Keep it across back over. Get a good look here at the side entrance of that residence of the ambassador from Zambia. And there are a few other residences down this street. This one, I think this is the embassy of Monaco. It might also include the residence. It is another glorious Lily Cat. Hi, it is. Lily Cat, are you the one who lives in Alexandria and you should come out here and just wander? Now we've got the gas lamps around the car entrance there. And yep, the Embassy of the Principality of Monaco. And then across the way, this one, I've tried to film this one a couple of times. It's impossible. Too many trees. This is the Embassy of Yemen. And that's all we're gonna see of the Embassy of Yemen. Too many trees. And I mentioned the street signs and parking. So you see this one says Embassy of Yemen diplomatic vehicles. No parking, but 7 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. So if it's Saturday, you're good to park. Apologize for a lot of zigging and zagging here on this street. This is a relatively narrow street. I do love the planters. Now this one has a more moderate amount of ivy compared to that other one we saw that was completely covered in ivy. Look at that. Now there we definitely have a French influence with that mansard roof. Hi, Stephen, Washington, D.C. This is the residential area north of Massachusetts Avenue. This is a great place. Hey, Wolfgang, this is a great place just for walking, checking out architecture. And while we, I've stayed off of the main roads to focus on the architecture, down some of these main roads are lovely little cafes. You can walk all day, grab lunch, keep walking. I like that yard. It's hard to see. I won't creep up on it. That is a private residence. Go back across here because this is an example, when I turn around, of a former embassy. So when the United States ended diplomatic ties with Afghanistan, this had been the embassy of Afghanistan. When a nation severs its ties with the US or vice versa, they pretty much immediately evacuate the space that they've had in that country, or maybe there's a special reason to stay. But in this case, this was the embassy of Afghanistan. And I believe, I'm gonna get this wrong, 2007, maybe. I did a video on it. Check my videos. Check through my my shorts. I think it was a short I did on this embassy. So I've filmed every single embassy in Washington, D.C. And I did that over about 2 years. I had never done a live stream before, but on the very last one, I decided to give a live stream a try, and a whole bunch of people joined me, which was just shocking to me. And Highlander became my first mod on that live stream. And ever since then, I'm amazed that folks want to join me for these little walks. I am going to end here. This is the residence of the ambassador from Oman. And this is a really beautiful building. And I do like the flag. And although we have no breeze here for flag action, this flag is in exactly the right position that we can get a view of it. And this building, I love the light colored stone with these bright green shutters. I think they're amazing. And I'm gonna kind of head out into the street just for a second because I can, and take a look at this. But also there's carving in the shutters. There are stars. There's also an American eagle above the side door. I think there's an American eagle above the front door as well. No, there are two swords. Okay, so the seal of Oman is above the front door. But we'll take a little peek here. What a beautiful driveway and a beautiful building. And I want to thank everybody for joining me today on such a beautiful day. I hope wherever you are, that it's beautiful. I hope that wherever you are, you get outside. I hope you join me again. I might be out again tomorrow. We have hundreds of miles of streets to cover just in Washington, D.C. But I also walk through Baltimore and other cities as well. So I just want to say thanks. Have a fantastic day. We'll be on Stasis Geeks channel today at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is 8 p.m. UK time. Today's movie for Film Club is Catch Me If You Can, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks, based on the true story of Frank Abagnale, The Super Con Man, fun movie. If you can, join us on Stasis Geeks channel at 3 p.m. Davey, thank you so much for the link. I appreciate it. Everyone have a fantastic day. Hope to see you again soon. Take care.